On Saturday in Bloomington, Indiana, one of the greatest stories in college football history continues as Kurt Signetti takes the undefeated number two ranked Indiana Hoosiers and they will host the UCLA Bruins. Indiana has taken its program under Signetti to stratospheric heights, ripping through the first seven games of the season. They're sharp, versatile, and almost nobody outside of Columbus is playing with more confidence. But they're just two games left at home. They have to go on a run of three road games and four after this. It cannot take UCLA lightly. UCLA has been a blast under new head coach Tim Skipper. This is a team that at one point looked like they were going to finish the season 0-12. Skipper took the helm, and boom, the Bruins wrecked Penn State, took out Michigan State, beat Maryland in the last seconds, and they can still screw up the Big Ten race for Indiana, Ohio State, and USC on the way. How does UCLA win this game? What UCLA is doing so right over the last three games, the offensive line play is better. The revamped coaching staff is leaning into the ground game and letting it work. The Bruins were effective on the ground over the first four games, but it never came up with more than 30 carries. It's busting out an average in the mid 40s now over the last three games. The Indiana run defense is fantastic, but the Bruins can't be afraid to stick with it even when it's not working. They have to do everything possible to control the tempo and not let the Hoosiers dominate the time of possession in this battle. Now, Indiana has a funky way of making teams blow off their game plans. Things might be going well for the Bruins, but they're still having massive issues generating third down stops. Indiana doesn't need to hit the home runs. They just need to grind, connect on the short to mid-range throws, and take over the game early on. Now, UCLA was able to stop Michigan State and Maryland from connecting on anything. The two combined for under 50% completion. Indiana doesn't miss, though. It'll push UCLA's secondary from the start. Fernando Mendoza is one of the favorites right now to win the Heisman Trophy. UCLA is playing with house money. It turned around the season with three great wins, and the loose and fearless style matters. But Indiana isn't the type of team that plays like it's under pressure. The Bruins should bust out enough of a ground game early on to make this an interesting dynamic. The lack of pressure from the UCLA defensive front will matter. It may take a quarter like the Michigan State game, but Fernando Mendoza will get into a groove. The Indiana tempo will take over, and UCLA won't be able to stop it. Now, I think this will be close for a quarter, quarter and a half, but I think in the end, Hoosiers win 45-13 and cover the 25-point spread.